Welcome to The Explainer. Right now, we are zeroing in on a massive global lifeline. Seriously, the entire global economy, the prices you pay at the pump, the energy keeping cities lit up around the world, it literally all depends on what happens in one incredibly cramped corner of the ocean. We're looking at a place where immense geopolitical pressure meets profound natural beauty. Okay, let's dive into this. Every single day, a staggering 21% of the world's total daily oil consumption flows right through this single gateway. Just pause and think about that volume for a second. More than a fifth of the energy powering human civilization is constantly bottlenecking through one incredibly specific point on the map. And to really grasp the mind-boggling scale of this bottleneck, we have to look at the geography. The Strait of Hormuz, which is this absolutely crucial geopolitical choke point sitting right between Iran and Oman, is a mere 33 kilometers wide at its tightest gap. I mean, that is a truly tiny distance to be holding the keys to the world's bank account, right? Within that 33-kilometer gap, the reality on the water is intensely claustrophobic. The actual shipping lanes, they're only 3 kilometers wide. So picture giant oil tankers, literally some of the biggest machines humanity has ever built, squeezed into this narrow corridor. Now, surround them with warships, naval mines, and coastal missile batteries. It is quite literally a fragile geopolitical time bomb where one wrong move could send absolute shockwaves through global energy markets. Now, what's really interesting about this is the dramatic contrast hiding in plain sight. If you look past the radar screens and the military hardware, Hormuz is actually a hidden museum of nature. It's an area guarding breathtaking, ancient natural wonders right in the middle of a modern power struggle. We're talking about beaches stained red, towering salt caves, and cultures that have existed for way, way longer than the oil trade. Section 1. Hormuz, the Rainbow Island. The sensory experience here is incredibly vivid. Hormuz is famous for its red beach, where the dark earth turns the crashing waves this reddish-brown hue. It almost looks like ink bleeding straight into the ocean. This is all caused by the incredibly high iron oxide content in the soil. It's so rich, it actually contains up to 70 different shifting minerals. Oh, and if you go swimming here, that signature red color might linger on your skin for days. Just keep in mind, summer temperatures here can soar to a blistering 45 degrees Celsius with a stifling 95% humidity. But here's the absolute wild part. This red soil isn't just pretty to look at. Known locally as galak, this high-value red iron oxide is actually completely edible. No joke, the locals use it as an everyday spice in their cooking. When you visit Rainbow Valley on the island, a place bursting with deep reds, bright yellows from sulfur, and patches of purple, it feels exactly like a Martian landscape. It's a totally surreal reality that this is probably the only place on Earth where you can literally taste the geology around you. The wonders underground are just as stunning, though. Deep within a massive salt dome formed over millions of years lies the Salt Goddess Cave. Now, unlike the highly colorful West Salt Cave nearby, the Goddess Cave is filled with pristine white salt crystals hanging from the ceiling like chandeliers. And because dense salt walls are incredibly effective at absorbing sound, this cave is absolutely silent. It eliminates all echoes. Locals actually believe this breathing diamond possesses a purifying negative energy that is deeply healing. Back above ground, you'll run into the Valley of Statues. Over millions of years, wind and water erosion, with zero human intervention, mind you, have carved out these massive, surreal rock formations. As you walk through, you'll spot shapes resembling dragons, crouching eagles, and all sorts of mythical creatures. But what makes it truly eerie is that on windy days, the air whistles through the crevices, creating these low, murmuring sounds. The locals will tell you that the valley is actually whispering to you. Bringing human history into this geological capital, we find the 500-year-old Portuguese fort. Built with reddish-bound local coral stone, it stands as a massive remnant of European maritime dominance in the Gulf. Now, because the island lacked fresh water and the sun was absolutely scorching, the Portuguese colonizers engineered massive underground rainwater cisterns to survive prolonged sieges. They even built their intricate Gothic-style church entirely below ground level just to stay cool. Section 2. Qeshm, Canyons and Ancient Ships. Hopping over to Qeshm, which is the largest island in the Persian Gulf, the terrain shifts to towering, unique geological formations. In Chaku Canyon, you'll find vertical limestone walls reaching 100 feet high, all carved by water. It acted as nature's own high-security bunker where an entire army could literally hide undetected. Then there's Stars Valley. Local legend says a star literally fell out of the sky and smashed this jagged valley into existence. Today, the eerie whistling winds blowing through the rock pillars keep people away at night, and rumors of wandering jinn or spirits definitely still persist. Deep inside the southern part of the island is the Namakdan Salt Cave. At over 6 kilometers long, this isn't just your average cave. It is the longest salt cave on the entire planet. As you venture into the mountain, you're greeted by shimmering salt rivers and long white salt icicles hanging right off the ceiling. It's a dark, sparkling maze of absolute peace, completely indifferent to all those high-stakes politics happening in the waters right above it. And this brilliantly illustrates how the resilient people living here have adapted in incredible ways. Just look at the lenge shipyards. Here, craftsmen build massive wooden boats, some over 30 meters long, right out on the beach. It's an actual UNESCO-recognized miracle. They use zero blueprints and no computers. The whole thing is built purely from memory, passed down over 1,000 years. Using heavy teakwood from India and just simple hand tools, they craft these wooden giants that can sail all the way to East Africa and survive in the water for a century. Along the coast of Qeshm lies the Hara Forest, an ecological wonder that seems to literally float on the salty waters of the Persian Gulf. The dominant tree here, the Avicennia marina, performs absolute biological magic. Its bark acts as a superfilter, blocking out the salt so only fresh water enters the tree. Any excess salt, it's just excreted right out through the leaves. This creates a lush green oasis year-round that serves as a vital nursery for sea turtles and a crucial stopover for majestic flamingos. Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 3, Oman's isolated historic outposts. Over on the rugged Omani side of the water, right at the northern tip, is Kumzar. It's one of the most isolated villages in the world. Since there are absolutely no roads through the towering limestone cliffs, you can only get there by boat or helicopter. And because of centuries of passing sailors, the locals speak Kumzari, a unique language blending at least 10 different languages. During the summer, those cliffs trap the brutal heat so intensely that almost the entire village packs up and migrates by boat to the city of Qasab just to survive. From their shores, these ancient fishermen watch giant oil tankers pass by like floating buildings. The Musandam Peninsula has a deeply layered history of changing empires. In 1623, the Portuguese built Qasab Castle right on the water's edge to try and control the strait. But by 1644, the Omanis expelled the colonizers and claimed the stone fortress for themselves. Fast forward a couple of centuries to 1864, and the British arrived. They built a telegraph station to connect London to India, but they placed it on a tiny, sun-scorched rock way out in the fjords. That tiny rock was Telegraph Island, and it actually spawned a famous phrase. You see, the conditions there were a total nightmare. With absolutely no air conditioning, no internet, and intense isolation, tucked away round the bend of the long fjords, the brutal heat caused the British soldiers stationed there to literally start losing their minds. And that is exactly where the famous English idiom, going around the bend, originates from. Towering over the peninsula is Jabal Harim, which means the Mountain of Women. It peaks at 2,087 meters and got its name centuries ago when local women would climb to the summit to hide from invading pirates while the men were out fishing. But what's truly incredible about this towering peak is that even at over 2,000 meters high in the sky, the rock is etched with ancient fossils of fish, coral, and shells. Millions of years ago, this mountain was actually the bottom of an ancient ocean before tectonic plates pushed it all the way up. Section 4, a masterpiece beyond the oil. When you pull all of these pieces together, you see ingenious culture and untouched nature still thriving here. Take Laft Village, for example. They survived the intense heat using towering rooftop wind catchers and an absolutely brilliant system of 366 leap-year water wells. Meanwhile, local women wear vibrant gorget masks originally designed to protect their faces against sandstorms. Just offshore is Hengam Island, a peaceful haven known for its extremely friendly wild dolphins and glowing, bioluminescent shores. And we definitely can't forget Silver Beach, where the sand is mixed with fragments of mica and silica. After a barefoot walk there, your feet are literally covered in a layer of natural, shimmering glitter. So it leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. As the world constantly fixates on oil barrels and energy prices, treating this 33-kilometer stretch of water like a high-stakes chess match between superpowers, what is it really? Are we going to remember the Strait of Hormuz merely as a fragile trigger point where global conflict almost started? Or will we finally see it for what it truly is? A giant, eternal museum of Earth's history, hiding some of the most unique cultures and landscapes found anywhere on the planet.